Hello and welcome everybody, all of my Sampler 2 lovelies. Welcome to block number 12. 12, 2, 10, 1, 12, okay? Wow, we finally made it. We have made it through the journey of Sampler 2. I am so excited. I just, oh my gosh, I'm just hoping I can just get through this block. And then what's the story? 'Twas the night before Christmas, you know, I'm ready to retire with my kerchief on and for a long winter's nap. Of course, we know that's not going to happen, but you know, the whole thought process, my mind is just kind of always working. But I just want to say, first of all, thank you all that have made it this far with me, for putting up with all of my crazy one-man show trying to video and do all of this. And wow, I mean, we did it, girls. And if I have any fellas out there, you're included, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and just step aside to show you that our block number 12 is my very last block over here. I don't know if I'm still in screenshot, but hopefully you can see that. Block number 12. And this one is titled Christmas Carol. And I'm going to step around so that I can show you all of the cutting measurements that you're going to need for this particular block. As I've done in the last few videos, it's going to be me just kind of showing you with my hands down, and you're going to just hear me a lot and see my hands a lot. So that's all I got for you guys. And I will go ahead and tell you that we are taking a break. Oh boy, are we taking a break. We are taking a break. We went from Sampler 1, jumped right into Sampler 2. Guys, I'm embarrassed to say this, but I'm still trying to get my Sampler 1 like all finished and put together. So hopefully, you know, before like our next project, I'll be able to like hold mine up and show and tell. Everybody else has already got theirs done and I'm still working on mine. And I'm the one that's putting it all on. That's kind of crazy, don't you think? So, you know, hopefully everybody's able to follow and everybody's doing very well at doing this. You're looking like the blocks are looking good. I can tell you that much. So let me just step around so that I can make my camera look down at all of our cutting instructions, and we'll go from there. All right, here we go. We have all of our different colors here. You are going to need a total of 4. You got your background color, you're going to have what we call a center star, and your outside border, and then of course your corner piece that has existed in all of the blocks that we have done to create our corner little star, that what it's going to end up making. So we're going to start, oops, sorry about that. We're going to start up here, and our letter A is going to be our background piece. You need 2 at 4 inches. Letter B, you need 8, 3.5 inch by 6.5 inch. Letter C, also background, you need 4 at 2 and 3.5 inch. And the last background piece is letter D, and you need 8, and that's 2 inch by 3.5 inches. Okay, so we got that. And then we're going to scoot down here. I am so sorry for all the jerky moves here. For what I'm calling the center star, you actually have two different pieces that compile the to make the center star. And so your letter E, you need 2, and that's at 4 inches. Letter F, you need 4, and those are 3.5 inches. And both of those will be one color, one style, whatever it is that you're using. And then the next part is going to complement that, and it is letter G, and you need 2 at 4 inches, and H will be 4 at 3.5 inches. okay? And that will be a totally separate color or print, whatever it is that you are choosing, okay? And then we're going to go down here. I've got to scoot over a little more. Sorry, I don't mean to like jerk this around, but all right. And then we have letter I, and you need 2 at 4 inches, and this is the outside border. And this is what's going to go around to frame in that star. And then letter J, you need 8 at 3.5 inches. And then we have letter K, and that's 8 at 2 inches by 3.5 inches. And letter L, and that is 16 at 2 inches. And then of course our last piece, I'm so sorry about the jerkiness, you have the corner pieces, and this is the same piece that you've used throughout every block. Letter M, you need 4 at 2 inches. All right, so let me just kind of zoom back out here. Nope, zoom out. There we go. Let me, just so you can kind of see my pieces here that I'm using. Okay, and I've got my, it's kind of hard on that white table, but I have the white pieces at the top there for my background. My center parts are my center, 2 different pieces for my center star, and then I have my outside borders and my corner pieces. Okay, so now I will step around and get ready to explain how we're going to put this piece together. So hang on, everybody. All right. So here I brought down here so that we can kind of look and see what parts we're doing here, right? Like I've done in the past couple of videos. Our very first piece that we're going to work on is always our corner pieces. And so this is where we are going to take our letter C. We're going to take our letter C and our letter M. And on our letter M, we are going to draw our diagonal line, right? We're going to match that up so that we have a stitch line. And we're going to draw our line here so that we know where we're supposed to stitch. We will put our right sides together. And whoops, going the wrong way. We want to make sure that when we put this on, we're looking at it and we're looking from the left hand, like the corner down here, the left hand going up. If we're standing here looking at it, because we're going to create one new piece. So that's going to be able to flip up just like this. All right. And when you stitch this down, you're going to stitch on your stitch line. You're going to bring that over. This is going to go right on top of your stitch line where you're going to have your 1/4 inch so that you can trim this part off and be able to press this part down like so. And that is going to create our 4 corner pieces. Okay? And that's just what we've done in all of the others. So now I'm going to just take and set this one aside. And our next one we're going to do is letter L. So whatever you have for letter L, I've got to find mine. Letter H-I-J-K-L. All right, so I've got letter L and letter D. Okay, so these are going to be some smaller pieces. So I've got letter D, which is a background piece, and my letter L. Now, if you notice, just like I said in the past videos, just because you've got a bunch of 2-inch pieces, because your corner piece is always going to be that 2-inch piece, right? So just because you've got something that says 16 of a 2-inch and then 4 of a 2-inch, you want to make sure that you're labeling these, all right? That way you don't get all confused. So make sure, because that L and that M, those pieces right there, they are They are right next to each other, but you don't want to get those confused, and it just makes life a whole lot easier, folks, if you go ahead and label. Let's not be lazy with it. And we're going to go ahead and do a mark on there. So then what we're going to do is we're going to create that flying geese or arrow, whatever you want to call it. And this time we're going to put the part that's right at the tip, right at the top, your top left, make it go up to meet at the top tip to where it's angling down to the bottom right, because that's, as you can see, that is the beginning of that arrow. And then you're going to go ahead and stitch that. You're going to measure your 1/4 inch and trim that off, and then press that so that that is open. And you want to do this first, and then go ahead and get your other L piece. And you're going to also, I need to, I think, press these a little nicer so that they're standing out. Hold on just a second here. Let me line that up. It's because it's not pressed, it's wanting to poke up. So I'll go ahead and draw that line. And we want to make sure that when we're putting this second piece on here, okay, we want to make sure that this is pressed. This part is pressed to where it looks like one new piece. And then we want to go ahead and put this part on. That way that this part goes on top and will catch. When you go to stitch this down, you're going to stitch, and that's going to lay right on top of that. So that when you open this, then you're going to have that point, okay? With me just trying to hold it, it's kind of hard to see it, but trust me, it works. And on this, you want to make 8. You're going to make 8 of these. And these are the ones that you're seeing right here. When you see these little pieces, okay, here and on the sides, these are the ones that are all on the outer part of this block. And so go ahead and make 8 of these. And let me see here. You should measure 2 when you finish. You want to make sure that you're trimming, and you want 2 inches by 3.5 inches on that completed piece, okay? And set those aside. And then the next part, we are going to take our letter, what is that, K. We're going to take letter K, and we're going to, the piece that we just made with the letter D and L, that we made the little arrow piece for, we are now going to, let me just go ahead and put this on here as if we were doing it, just so that you get the visual. I know there's a lot of visual people out there. They've got to see it. They don't believe it till they see it, right? So let me just, I'm just kind of roughly doing this so that you can check this out. All right, so let's act like that this is all sewn together, and we've got it measured the 2 inch by 3.5 inch. And now we want to take the letter K, and we are going to match. We're going to put this right up. Hopefully you can see this. My big hand's in the way. You're going to put this where your color points. Okay, your color's going to be pointing down here and right alongside of the piece that we're adding. So our letter K, you want to be able to flip this right sides together. All right, and then here you're going to do your 1/4 inch stitch, and then you're going to press that. So that piece is going to look like this. All right, we got that. This is the piece that will exist here. See, this is the arrow piece that we made, the flying geese, whatever you want to call it, and then we added our solid piece right next to it. So this is making up this piece of the block. Everywhere you see that, that's what that is, okay? So now, this is what we have. We have these two pieces together, right? And so now, let me set these all back. Oh, and again, you're gonna make 8. You had eight of these, so you will have a total of 8 when you finish and you put these here together, okay? And so now we are going to take letter I, H and I, okay. And the I is going to be one of your outer blocks, which is one of these here. Okay, so we've got letter I and letter A. And A is going to be one of your background pieces. And we are going to use our handy dandy Fons and Porter, our 1/4 inch guide here. And you want to make sure that you are putting this on the wrong side, that you're drawing your line on the wrong side. Again, I keep saying this in all of the videos because I chose white on white. I have to make sure that the actual top is going to be down. So I need to check so that I am not going to confuse that, okay? So now I take and I measure this up as corner. I'm matching up here my tips, and I will draw down both sides right there, okay? And you can either use the line that you just drew, match it up just like this, and draw the line tip to tip for your diagonal, because this is the center line is going to be your stitch line. Or if you want to use this, you can go ahead and match this up just like that to be able to draw that line as well. As long as you have these yellow lines lined up and you have this tip to tip, it will do the exact same thing. So just to kind of save you a little step. And then we're going to take these two pieces, right sides together, okay? And if you'd like, you can pin it if you don't trust yourself to hold on to it. Then you can take and you can pin like so. And because you want to make sure that you're getting these to be the right size when you go to trim them, and one's not going to be bigger than the other, right? So I've pinned those so that they will stay, and then you would go down on, let me use this, go down the left side and then come back down and go down the right side. So let's go ahead, we're going to stitch down the two outer lines, because this one here is where we're going to cut. We're going to cut on that center line to be able to open this up to make 2 pieces. All right, and you're going to do this 4 times. You're going to have 4 pieces that you do this with. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. And when you open those up, that turns into these 4 blocks here. All right, so we've got these 4, and now what you're going to do, hold on just a second. Now we've got this piece here where we took our arrows and put it to our solid piece, and that is on each side of our corner block. So now we're looking just at this piece right here, okay? So we're going to take, if I lay this out, and I have this piece and this piece, these two are already together, so that's going to lay here, and then my corner piece will lay over here, and we're going to lay it on top and then stitch your 1/4 inch, press it, and then we're going to come down, and then the blocks that we just made with the 1/2 and 1/2, we're going to take one of those, and if you see the pattern here, see how it kind of looks like a little flower pointing out? You want to make sure that if you, whatever piece you have here, that is matching up with these corner pieces like this. And you're going to fold that over, and you're going to stitch here. You're going to press it, lay it all back out so that you have, make sure that you have this look. Okay, you've got this little flower going on, you've got your corner piece going off into the right top corner, and just make sure that in this part, this, whatever you have, if you have a pattern, if you have just a solid color, whatever, that it is matching along with these pieces here. And you're going to go ahead, flip this on top of each other, and you're going to stitch. You're going to do your 1/4 inch stitch, and you're going to press it. So you're going to have this section 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now we have those 4 completed. Set them aside. Okay, and so now we are going to go to, hold on just a second here. Yeah, since our last video, my instruction book ended up missing somehow, some way, and so I had to have Miss Judy send to me the pictures of the block, and so I have to, hold on, I gotta flip this here so I can see what our next step is. And those of you that have the book, I mean, you can look at the book and you know what you're doing. And we've done this already, so, I mean, it's all just repeat, 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 right? So the next thing we're going to do is letter I, H-I. So we got one more of the letter I. Is that an I or a J? No, I think that's a J. No, it's a J. So, hold on here. You know, it's really sad because when print is so small and you can't see it, oh my gracious, it makes me think I really should have valued my eyesight a long time ago. Okay, and then we have our letter B, which is in our background fabric. So we're going to lay down that background. So as you can see, you can kind of, if we've already done this part, we've done all these corners, you can see what we're getting ready to do here, right? So now we're going to take that letter B, which is our background piece, okay? This is what we're working on right here. And we're doing letter J. And this, it happens to be my my red outside piece. So we're doing these right here, and we're making that arrow, or goose tracks, whatever you want to call it. You guys know what to do with this. We're measuring. We're going to measure here, draw our diagonal lines, and then we're going to lay right sides together. And this is going to be, you're going to make it so that your arrow is coming in, right? So you're going to stitch, you're going to bring your ruler over, lay that on top, do your 1/4 inch cut. You're going to trim this off. This here is going to make a whole new piece. And remember what I said, you want to do these one at a time so that you make sure that you're catching that other piece here in the corner, okay? Because otherwise it's not going to lay right when it's done. You're not going to really be happy with that result. So please just make sure that you do these one at a time. It's kind of like when you cut. You know, you really shouldn't cut several pieces at one time because, you know, you have that the fabrics that slip, well, just that little tiny bit, that's going to make a difference. Whether you think so or not, it really does. So we're going to lay this piece on here and we're going to stitch. So see how that is right on top, okay? That is laying right on top of there, so that when I stitch this down and this gets folded over, right there is, there's my point, okay? So you're going to go ahead and you're going to make 4 of these. So go ahead and do that. And then the next one, let me get back on my phone here. All right, that was B and J. And now we are doing F and B. So again, we're taking our background piece, letter B, and this time we're going to use F. All right, and you're going to be going between the two because what we're doing one on each side. Okay, so one's going to be an F and one's going to be an H. So when we get ready to do this, we're going to, you want to make sure that whatever side, because they're supposed to rotate, okay? So you're going to want to do, I believe it's 2 and 2. So we're going to go ahead and do this part on this side. So the same thing, you're going to stitch here. You're going to measure over to the 1/4 inch. You're going to trim that off. This piece will now be pressed, and that is there. And then you're going to grab the next piece, which is letter H, which is going to go on the other side. Now, let me just tell you that if you look at this, Miss Judy, our little Juju, she is the one that made this block up for me. And it's really hard to see the contrast because it's so close together. So, I mean, it just looks like the star, but you don't really see the actual vibrant part of the star, right? So make sure that what you're doing, that you have something that's going to showcase and brighten up that star, okay? So, you know, maybe if we would have done like just a solid gray even, along with the white here, maybe, you know, like omit this one, or maybe we did this and put it with the black color that I'd been using. But, you know, use something where it's not going to blend. This is blending. You don't want to blend those because it's getting lost, okay? So, but I didn't really have time to redo this, so we're going with it, and you can see and understand, and you can see the difference. How about that? You can see if you are thinking, if you have something that's kind of close like this, and you don't want it to look so blended, then you know, like, hey, I better get something else that's going to be a little more showcasey like. So don't you guys just love my wording? I don't know where I come up with them, but yeah, it's enough to make me crazy. But God bless you all for being able to hang in there with me. So again, we're just going to go ahead and still ride with this because this is what we have done and this is what I'm showing you. But just please heed that advice to make sure that you have something that is going to showcase this and make it pop instead of blend. Okay, so one side will be the one way, and then this here we're going to the same thing. You want it to overlap here so that it brings up that point. You're going to stitch, you're going to measure for your 1/4 inch, you're going to trim that to where this piece is now going to come up like this. So you will have, you're going to make 4. You're going to make 4 of these, and just the way that they are laid out, Let me double check that just to make sure. The way that they're laid out, because you could see it's every other one is like the dark one. See, like if it's laid out here, it's to the left. It's laid out here, it's to the left. So it's just rotating around. Okay, so yes, you need to make 4 of those. And okay, so now we've got that center part done, and now we are going to make, we've got the outside part for these pieces, but now we're going to do the center part. So I'm going to set all of these back, and now we are going to take our 4-inch pieces that we would have left, which is for the center star, okay, because we have letter E and letter G. And so now we are going to, just like we did with these pieces here, we're going to bring out our Fons and Porter pieces, and we are going to line this up. We're going to draw those stitch lines, and then we're going to draw our cut line. So I'm just going to scoot this yellow right on top of the line I just drew, match that all up, draw that line, because that is going to be our cut line when we finish. And we're going to put these right sides together, okay? Right sides together. And again, if you're not comfortable holding it to send it through, oops, I just moved it. You are more than welcome to make sure to pin those so that you don't have that movement. And then we will go over and stitch down the outside lines, okay? And when you have those stitched, then we'll come over. You're gonna lay that right on top of there, on that line, and be able to take your rotary cutter and cut those in half, where you open it up and you will have your you will have a new block, 2 pieces here, okay? So you'll have a new block just like this, and you can see how these are arranged. So now what you want to do is you want to be able to lay these out. So you're going to lay out these pieces here. So what you should have right now, go ahead and put out this block, because this is going to help you. You're going to lay out this block, and you know what? I think I forgot forgot to give you guys the measurements on that when it's finished. So hold on, let's back up just a little bit here, and I think I forgot to tell you guys to put those 2 together. See what happens? We get so excited. This is the last block, and I'm so excited, guys. Kind of getting carried away. So with these 2 here, you want to be able to put let's see, which one was this? This was the letter J. So your B and your J piece, you want that's on the outside of this block. And the inner part is where you want the part that your star is going to be formed. So you want to lay those 2, when you get those finished, you want to lay those on top of each other, right sides together, and be able to do your stitch. But you want both to be able to be pointing this way. So make sure when you lay these out, let me see how I can explain. So when you lay this out, like you flip this over, you've got a point going down this way, which is the bottom one, and then this point will be pointing up, so that when you do your stitch here, then you lay that back out to press it, both points are going to be going the same direction, okay? Hopefully you got that. And this piece here will measure 6.5 by 6.5. This center block. okay? The outside center blocks should measure 6.5 by 6.5, okay? And then when you get to these blocks here and you put these 4 together, this is also going to measure 6.5 by 6.5. These individuals, when you have them, it'll be 3.5 by 3.5. So make sure that those are 3.5 by 3.5 to be able to put those together. You're flipping together and then flipping that over to do your stitch to create that one big block, right? And this total center piece right here, all of that should equal 6.5 by 6.5. All right? And then this is where we're going to take and we're going to start putting everything together. So everything should be laid out. You've got your corner blocks, you've got your center blocks here on the outside pieces. You've got your middle piece, your actual center. And then we're going to take and we're going to flip this one on top. You're going to do your stitch here. Okay, you're going to press it. You're going to lay it back down, come over, take this piece, lay that on top, do your stitch. You're going to press it. You're going to come down here. This center, just this block right here, is going to flip over to your center actual middle block. And you're going to stitch, press, bring it back over. This is going to go on top of here, right sides together, stitch, press, and you're going to repeat what you just did up here, down here. Now we should have 1 row, we've got 2 rows, and we've got 3 rows. You're going to take this bottom row, you're going to lay it up on top, right sides together, and you're going to stitch right here. You're going to press that. You're going to bring it back over. Now you're taking the top part, flipping that to the center, and you're going to stitch here, open it, press it, and voila, voila guys, we have Christmas carols. We have a finished number 12 block. Woo! So again, I hope that this worked for you with the instructions where it's just, do you remember the Addams Family? And you remember Thing, the hand? You know, that's what I feel like. I feel like I have, you know, this is Thing 1 and this is Thing 2. Wave high, Thing 1, wave high, Thing 2. You know, so I feel like these are, you know, things. But anyway, I just appreciate everybody hanging in there with me to be able to do this. I'm going to come around and lift so that you can see me and I can explain a few things, because now that we have block 12 done and it's time to start putting everything together. Woo! So hang on, let me go around and flip the camera up, okay? All right. So now I have my block number 12 back up here. I don't know if I'm still in screenshot or not, but my block number 12 is up. I have all of my arrow pieces in there. And if you notice, when you get those all put together, you have a piece that is missing in that center. That should be the same color as your background pieces, okay? And so you want to, those are 3.5 inches, but I am going to have to wait until I get my book in to make sure, because these on the edges, there's other pieces that go to these, so we are not going to actually be able. So I guess I'm kind of like giving you guys some bad news here. I'm going to have to create another video to be able to show the whole ending of all of it. So just bear with me as we work on getting that all completed. But for right now, you could go ahead And if I don't know, this is something, if you did sampler 1 with me, you know about this. And this is something that I do. You do not have to do this. If you like, you know, and you don't want to spend the extra money for it or anything like that, that's totally up to you. But what I do is I always back my blocks with woven fusible, okay? And it just gives it a nice clean surface, and I'm not having to fight with all of my seams. And you just press it on. And so this was a block that I did back at Sampler 1, and then this is the back side of it, so you just see just how nice and clean that made that. And it makes it so much easier when you go to put it together, that you're not having to fight with all of these other seams. And we do have some of the woven fusible left, and you're more than welcome if you want to try this method. If you don't and you're like, I don't want to mess with that, I'm just going to put my pieces together, that's fine too. It is your quilt. These are your blocks. You do whatever you want to do with them. And this I'm going to show you, and then I'm so embarrassed to say, but this is mine in pieces, my Sampler 1, okay? So my Sampler 1, I'm still working on getting my pieces together, but hey, at least I got this much, right? But if you kind of look here and you see how all the pieces, how much nicer that looks, I mean, and it's workable, makes things so much easier and quicker for me. And if that is something that you're wanting to do, then you will want to go ahead and back your blocks, and you're going to want to back even the 3.5-inch piece that goes into the little squares, and you're going to want to back all of those, your strips, do all of it, because if you back some of it and not all of it, then you've got more weighted pieces than others. So you either need to decide if you do want to do it, then do it, and if you don't worry about it. You just put them together the way you would usually put them together. And what you're going to do is you're going to go through and you're going to go ahead and attach. First you've got to go through, measure and make sure that your blocks are 18.5 by 18.5, and then when you go to put them all together, of course it's going to shrink those down. Give me just a second here, let me look, because Judy sent me the picture here, but I'm not positive what the final size. Okay, so on the sashing blocks, the strip with the arrows on it, they will measure 3.5 inches by 18.5 inches, okay? So you can go ahead and you can be measuring those and go ahead and do your trimming on your sashing pieces, and also the trimming on your 18.5 by 18.5 inch blocks. And then you're going to do just like what we do with everything else. You're just going to lay it on top, sew down a 1/4 inch seam, and you're going to press. Always make sure you're pressing. Press, press, press. You stitch, you press. You stitch, you press. Trust me, it will make life easier for you in the long run with your pieces. So if that is something that you want to go ahead and maybe start, trying to get things together, again, your little your little center squares, and when I'm saying this, I'm talking these right here. These are measuring 3.5 by 3.5. Okay, and then you're just taking row by row. So this top, and this is so bad because I'm still missing this one. I said I was going to rip it out and do it again, and I haven't done that yet. But let's pretend that that is there, and we're going to, after we have checked all of these to make sure. So all of your strips should be 3.5 by 18.5. All of your big blocks should be 18.5 by 18.5. The slightest little pieces, make sure they're trimmed up. Make sure that you get those little tiny pieces off, because that can mess up your whole layout. So you're going to take and you're going to stitch, fold that on top, stitch, and then press, and then come over here and you're going to put this on top, right sides together, you're going to stitch, and then you're going to lay it back out after you press it, you're going to stitch here. So you're just going to take it, just take it row by row and get those pieces together. And we will come back. I'm going to try to do it here in the next couple of days. I'll try to go ahead and get some of this together and give you the final measurements of everything so that you can complete your piece, okay? So for now, we are not going to do a drawing. We're going to wait and do one big final drawing because everybody that is participating has already won at one of the weeks. So everybody has won something. So yay, good deal. But we will have a final, like a big drawing for everybody that has participated and for every block that you've made and posted. I've got it all into the little basket here, and we will do one final drawing on the next video for the finishing of the quilt. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I've had several people ask when the date will be for the next. Whew, boy, you guys, it takes a lot of work on these. It really does. And with me being as busy as I am, I'm trying to do everything. So I will let you know. Everybody will get a heads up for sure. And I am probably, I'm saying maybe February, because I would really like to actually have everything done, maybe even have, oh my goodness, wouldn't that be awesome if I had a piece that was actually finished before we even started? Huh, that's like a dream of mine. So I'm going to try, I'm going to see what I can do. I'm going to try and then be able to show what we have coming up. I'm still kind of back and forth on two different ones, so I'm not sure which one I'm going to go with yet. So I hope everyone has enjoyed this. I have enjoyed you. Thank you for allowing me to help you through these blocks. And honestly, I think that you guys just really want my company more than anything, because these, after you start, you do one, you do two, it all pretty much kind of flows the same way. And you guys can do that. You know, it's just being held accountable, right? If we're held accountable for everything that we do, it makes things go to where we make sure that they get done. So, and you have held me accountable for doing this every week, so kudos to you. All right, guys, I think that's about it. And for Christmas Carols, block number 12, hallelujah, thank you. We are done. We are done. Almost. Just that little tiny bit. I need my book. I need my book, and then I can finish you out. So there will be one more video. I'll try to get it done and get it right back out so that you have it. And everybody, you know, be safe. Be safe. Stay COVID free, and have a very happy Thanksgiving. Whether we're with our loved ones or not, just everybody take care and have a happy Thanksgiving. All right? And we'll see you Black Friday. Hopefully you come on out. Black Friday, we've got some good specials going on. And then we also have a Christmas open house. So if you can't come to Black Friday, maybe come to Christmas open house, because we'll have some awesome deals for then. And you also get stockings. For the first 25 people to come in and purchase anything, everybody's going to get a goodie bag, but the first 25 people get stockings that are really nice, filled with goodies. Okay? All right. So, hey guys, we'll see you soon. All right. Take care and happy Thanksgiving. Bye.